Hello, happy Wednesday. How's it going? Isn't it so much better without that really long tutorial on how to do the playback speed? I know that'll probably save frustration for people, but at the same time, on a video like this, I don't really feel like I need that tutorial because it's not like we're not doing a garment sew through, right? What is on my hand? Oh, there we go. So you can see this is my laundry basket upside down, so you can kind of see the shape of it. It stays in this shape better when it's upside down sitting here, and I have a lot of changes I'm going to make today. But I think I'm going to cut and sew the final version. So I know this is kind of a kooky project, but I'm pretty excited. When I was using the laundry basket a couple days ago, I was like, oh my God, I really need a new basket. The other one's just kind of collapsing in on itself. So let me know if everything sounds and looks okay. I have the microphone's a little far away, but I think it'll be okay. So I really am pleased that all of you really like the Nello. Yeah, you have to say that every time now, Nancy. I'm really glad that you guys all like the sleeve placket videos. So if you haven't checked those out and you're going to do some shirt sewing, they might help you a little bit. There's 2 different styles, and I just uploaded them. There's also a collar and collar stand video. So, and I have a French seaming set in sleeves. So all the little details are there. Plackets are pretty simple if you're not doing something too complicated. Hey, Mrs. Necro. Oh, nice. Hey, Terry. How's it going? Okay, good. Thank you for telling me that. Appreciate it. All right. So I was kind of like, okay, I think it was Adina that brought up the point, like, what are you going to do with this sample when it's done? Like, what do you do with all this fabric? And it's true. I actually think about that too. Like, I don't want to just throw this thing away, not that it's special or anything, but it's just like, I don't really need it, but just putting it in the landfill seems kind of crazy. So I do have a bin under my table, and I put all fabric scraps or things like this. I take all the pins out, and I just put fabric in there. And it is kind of nice. It's handy for all kinds of reasons, but mostly I use it as stuffing and stuff. And I probably generate a lot more scraps than most folks. So I manage the bin, How many dog beds do I really need? I don't know, but I can also give them as gifts, I guess, right? It isn't the best stuffing. It's not the softest, but at least I can do the bulk of it, and I put something softer on top, and I usually keep scraps of batting and stuff like that. But it also sometimes, like when I don't know what to do with like muslins and whatever you call it, a muslin, a toile, a prototype, or what's the other? I heard another term recently, and I was like, oh, I forgot that term for like a sample garment or something. Benny, I think it only counts you once. That's so funny you say that because, I load up my YouTube page to look at the chat for a stream, and I don't think it counts me as a view. So, hey, Michelle. So anyway, I do sometimes feel like it can hinder my progress towards something because I'm like, oh, I don't really want a ton of prototypes sitting around. What am I going to do with them all? And then I, reassure myself that you need to do the prototypes to make the thing that you want because you really want this pattern. I haven't really mentioned it, but I'll probably make this a free pattern on my Patreon, the $10 and the $20 tiers. So if it won't be like a really polished, like put together pattern like my other patterns are really over the top polished and mock-up. No, there's another great word. And I heard it the other day, and I was like, wow, I haven't used that word in so long in regards to it. It might pop into my head. I'm going to have to, I think I kind of remember, I was watching a Friday Sews, and she said it. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's a good word, So anyway. So, yeah, you absolutely need to do the mock-ups, That's just how it is. And I have a lot of this canvas. I don't know what happened with this order. I don't know why we had so much of this particular print because we sold a lot of it, and I don't know why. It might be that I'll bet what it is this fabric comes wider. This is what it is, actually. I process things verbally, and so sometimes as soon as I start talking about it, the answer will pop in my head. Something I've thought about for years now is why Rayanne and I had so much of this particular fabric after we cut and sewed it for the season. I know why. It's because it's wider, and I just probably forgot that when I ordered it. So anyway, hey Malin, how's it going? Hey Sharon, welcome. Hey Donna, welcome, welcome, welcome. Nice to see you guys. Doggy toy boxes. That's a good, actually making, my husband would love it if I made dog toys. I don't really like small fiddly sewing. I like large fiddly sewing. I don't like small fiddly sewing, but I've made dog toys before just out of desperation when I brought them to work and I didn't have a dog toy, and I just whip something up and braid a bunch of scraps and have like legs hanging off of it, whatever, and they love those things. I have a whole bin of squeakers too. Have you ever seen those ridiculous dog toys? And it's like a dog head and feet at one end, and it's a flat body in the middle, and it's basically 20 squeakers. Have you seen those? Someone gave the dogs one of those, and I was like, And then I ended up taking all the squeakers out. And so I just have them in a little drawer right here in my Notions, and I just replaced squeakers with it. It's kind of handy. All right, so let's get to it, because these aren't typical streams. I mean, they're kind of typical streams, but usually we're doing a project that you guys can join in on. So sorry about that. This is something that I need done, and I'm so busy right now that you guys have to come along for the ride. That's just how it is sometimes. So hope you don't mind. You don't have to watch, I guess, right? So. But if you want more, if you want any pattern drafting tips, please feel free to ask me. I'm happy to give them. Hi, Karen. Welcome from England. I'm in California. We're a little far away, aren't we? Isn't that the ugliest mouse ever? All right. So anyway, back to like my fabric quandary of like, what do you do with the prototypes? And I also like designed a fabric for this project, which I am like, I'm not even mediocre fabric designer. I'm kind of like figuring it out. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do with that. So yeah, Mrs. Negro, yeah, but he would drive you crazy. So, I planned on using that fabric I designed for this project. But I got this fabric for samples for another project, because I was testing out I think it's called Cypress denim on Spoonflower versus the dogwood denim. Wait, is it the Cypress denim? I have it pulled up on a tab. Let's see. Cypress cotton canvas. Sorry, Cypress cotton canvas versus the dogwood denim, because of this projects I've been working on, and I want to know which one was stiffer. And I really love the texture of this stuff, because it's got kind of a plain weave texture, which you absolutely probably cannot see on the screen. And I like when designers put like a linen background. So anyway, I never ended up using this for my prototypes because, well, I don't remember. I think it's just because my other samples came faster than I thought they would. Hi, Hannah. How's it going? Oh, awesome. Yeah, there's quite a few folks that come from the UK and from Europe in general. I think because the time that I'm streaming is better suited for folks in the evening, So, yeah. All right, so then I almost prevented myself from doing this today, because I was like, you don't have your fabric. And I was like, you know what? We have fabric. Or I was like, well, I need to do another prototype, but what am I going to use? Because I, just like you, struggle with the whole, like, do I use real fabric? Do I use scrap fabric? What if it ends up being a really good prototype? Then I could have used it, and if it was in good fabric. I mean, I have all these same questions myself. It's a laundry bag. It doesn't have to fit my boobs or my hips. So, there's a lot of benefits to that. I feel like I could probably get this almost exactly how I want on this next prototype. So I might as well use regular fabric. So, hi, Karen. How's it going? Hi, Martina. Welcome. Look at this. Yeah, see? Such a multicultural and multi-country crowd. I love it. Welcome. If you're new to a chat, something you should know is at the very top of the chat window, there's this little thing that says top chat and live chat, and you should toggle it to live chat. You'll see them all. So, all right. So let's do it. Oh, and this is some Essex yarn dyed linen, because someone was selling. I was trying to support this fabric company, and they had a bunch, and they really don't sell any garment fabrics, but I wanted to support them. So they had a bunch of Essex, so I just bought a bunch of Essex. I don't know why I do this. I'm the one that needs the support, but I like want to support people, right? I want them to keep going and stuff. So I bought a bunch of Essex, and I was like, oh my gosh, I think I got fabrics that go together. I can't believe it, because my stash actually goes pretty quickly. So I have a yard of this, and is it my first choice? It's a little bit like pink and I don't know. So my husband has no problems with stuff like that though. And if I need a little extra, I think the purple is a nice accent. So these are my fabrics. I'm going to line it because I really want it to be stiff. Although, let's see. If I use up this is a kind of a heavy bag, but that's okay. Baskets have their weight as well. All right, so this is our fabric. That's what we're planning. Let's get this pattern, which is, I know, it's pretty ugly on this white paper right now, but that's how it is. I'm not using manila yet. My preference is to use, oh, there goes my tape dispenser. Forgot my tape dispenser was sitting on these rulers. I already had a ruler out. When your studio gets smaller, all the pattern weights and all the rulers and everything now is in one place, and you realize you've been using 6 rulers, 12,000 pairs of scissors, and 8 million pattern weights, and you don't need all those on your table. So, all right. Yeah, me too. I like the color combo. I liked that fabric. You know, like, do I really want to spend $50 on fabric for prototypes for what I'm working on? No. But do I want the project to fail? Absolutely not. So I buy the fabric just to test it out, and I make sure it's in something I can potentially use. And I also wasn't sure if the fabric design I was going to use for that project was going to work out. So I bought something. I was like, well, I'll just interview this fabric. And oh, I know why I didn't use this is because I liked the dogwood denim for the weight better for that project. So I used all that fabric, and that fabric was actually really cute too. So, all right, so this pattern piece, I'm going to change it a bit now. So if you're kind of new to this little project, I'm making a laundry basket, not a hamper, a basket. And that is because my basket is in a shambles now, and it's just becoming just harder to use than not use. And so I decided that I'm going to make can I make a sewn version of a laundry basket that I'll actually like and want to use? Probably. So I've been kind of trying to figure out, I don't really need it to be identical to that basket, because I kind of started with that and I was like, you know, the fabric version is fabric's a little clingy and soft to make it that shape, right? So, oh, dang, Mrs. Necro, what a bummer. Yeah, they're so handy. I really love these things. And I don't need any more, but sometimes someone will give me one because they're like, oh, I know you like these. And it like as if I collect them, but I actually don't collect them. So, yeah, I do, Michelle. I buy yeah, because I have to make 100 of this bag, Michelle. So I absolutely don't want to get on bag number 20 and go, oh, this was a bad choice of fabric. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I absolutely do invest in that, and I build that cost into the price. And I just try and keep it as minimal as possible. You know, like, I don't want to have to spend that or do that, because it also adds to the overall project development time, you know, because I have to wait for it to get there, especially with Spoonflower. And Spoonflower and a pandemic they've been impacted. So, all right, so right now what I'm doing is I have a list. So this is one of the things, these are some of the things. While I used my old laundry basket the last few days, this is what I've learned. I have a stacking set of appliances. So the dryer sits on top. And what I like right now about my basket is that I can put the basket on the ground, pull everything out of the dryer, and it just falls into the basket except for like a stray sock or something, right? So I was like, oh, I can't do that with this bag. That's going to be kind of a pain in the butt. But what could I do? And I was thinking, what if I put a hook on one side, hook it on the lip of the dryer, and then I can just pull things into the dryer like this, right? So now I'm kind of adjusting the design based on making that work the best. I'm also putting a band of stiffener across the top. I know this thing looks really hideously ugly, but you just have to like envision what I'm talking about. And I can kind of, I've done this long enough that I know like, oh, what to look past and what I can't look past. There's plenty of things I work on pattern wise where I'm like, I have to see that actually. So yeah. Yeah, you could do that, Mrs. Necro. Yeah, people love doing that. Make sure you can lift them up easily. That's why I didn't do washers, is because I don't like grabbing something. So, all right. And someone said, you know, maybe you want a pocket on this. And I was like, why would I want a pocket on my laundry basket? And you know what? I absolutely do want a pocket on my laundry basket because sometimes so these are the criteria. I want to be able to carry my basket up with one arm so I can hold a glass of water, because I can't do that with my current basket. So I'm improving the design. And if I had a pocket, it would be really nice to slip my glasses in there, because stairs and bifocals don't go well together. I know those of you who know this. And it would be nice not to have to dig in the basket for the glasses, because I don't like iron them. I don't fold the laundry right away. Sometimes I just set the basket there and it takes a couple days, you know. So I also want this basket to be able to hang on the wall flat. And so my plan is that roughly it's going to be quickly and easily, I can just fold it in half and then fold it in half. And then there's going to be a little loop right here, maybe even a loop here and here so that it stays shut. And I can hang it on the wall. And then it won't take up much room in my laundry room, maybe even behind the broom or something. So that's my plan. It'll have handles to put over my shoulder. What else? These are the things I'm doing to it now. I think I got rid of my first list of criteria. I'm going to make the bottom a 1/2 inch bigger all the way around, mainly because I kind of want to be able to fold a pair of pants in here almost and lay them down there. Hi, Allison. How's it going? Good morning. And then I'm going to make it a little taller, and I'm going to narrow it up at the top. So it's going to be more of a cylinder now rather than the kind of open basket style. That open basket style I just felt like was going to be problematic to keep the rim open while I was using it or something. But here's one of the ideas I had, you guys. And I feel like if I had more time or wherewithal that I wanted to fuss around with this, I have an old sunshade. You know these things? Like, why couldn't I use the wire, you know? Oops, sorry. Why couldn't, I don't know what that is. It looks like I spilled a drink on this thing. But, so I opened it up. Do you guys save weird stuff? I save everything. I don't save everything because I'm kind of a minimalist too. But I save all kinds of crazy stuff like this because I'm like, I'm not going to throw that away. I don't use this anymore. So inside here is where the pieces come together. And I was wondering, like, what if I open this up, because I don't know if you can see it, but there is a slit in the metal at the back of this flat piece right here, right? What if I clip the piece or open this up, pull out the wire, make it smaller, more like the circumference of the top of my basket, and then clamp this back on here? I'm not like 100% I could actually get this to work, but I feel like there's a lot of potential in this. And as someone who has designed bags for like the last probably 12 or 13 years, this is not the first time I have thought about making some sort of like wire rim, mouth to open the bag. So I don't know. It's just something I think there's a lot of potential here, and I have this kicking around. And this is obviously too big of an opening, But, and I also don't think the wire is in this like gently ovaling, squared off shape. I actually think it's the fabric doing that. And so this would be my plan. If you want to try this out, this would be my plan if I did this. I would probably cut the fabric off and leave some fabric for a seam allowance. Something your presser foot could go along the side of this. I wouldn't take it out of this binding until I felt really confident I could wrangle it, because I don't really know what's going to happen when you pull this sucker out, right? And I would probably fiddle with all of this while it was still in the casing, just kind of taming it, because these kinds of things can go boing and, you know, and like poke your eye or something. So anyway, I just thought I'd throw that out there. But you could then, if your fabric's lightweight enough, you know, you could, maybe there's potential with, you know, folding it up, even if it's just the rim. I don't know. I don't think that idea would work, but just thought I'd throw that out there. I saved that because I was like, I'm going to make myself a new sunshade with that. Because I think that would be kind of fun to have like a cool sunshade. It gets blazing hot here. I do think it would cook under my window and it would last one season. So it might be kind of a wasteful thing to do. So yeah, you do. Oh, okay, Mrs. Necro. Mine is upstairs. So this is one of my things, is that I want to be able to easily carry this upstairs. It's an inherited trait. Oh, really, Malin? Very cool. You know, let me see. I have this sample. I have this weird little bin that I'll probably never show the entire contents of, but there is this one. I do have it. Okay. So when my husband travels a lot for work, and when he was in Japan, he brought my daughter back this pencil case, and I saved it because there was something about it that I really was like noodling on for a really long time. And me and Rayanne pulled it apart. So yeah, it's not a big deal when you look at it, but what's cool is how it's, as a knitter, if you're a knitter, you understand why you want your project bag to be open and not encumber your project. But it does have, you can see, it has a wire, very thick wire, by the way, very thick, very stiff around the perimeter here. And so when this thing was brand new and fresh, it was pretty cool how it kind of do this. And I was like, ding, ding, ding. You know what I mean? Like I thought of this. And then when I saw something like kind of on the idea that I was thinking, I was like, ooh. I did like a little bit of work towards this. And then I just realized like it was too far out of the scope of what we could do on a production level. So I just gave it up. So anyway, it's still in my basket of weird stuff though. You know, Mrs. Necro, my idea with ours being upstairs is, so in our bedroom, I don't know why, but there's like a sink and that's it. So there's the bathroom is between the two bedrooms and we have a door into it. But as you go in, so it's shaped like this. This is our stairs. Here is the bedrooms. This is not to scale. Here's our closet. And then there's this little sink here. Oh God, it's not to scale at all. Oh my God. There's a sink right here. And then this is the whole bathroom. And then there's a door into the bathroom here. And this has a little closet that goes around the back, right? But there's a sink right here. And then there's our closet. Our bedroom's much bigger than this. So right here, this is our bedroom. And then like the toilet's right here. Tub, shower. I'm thinking, what if we just put our washer and dryer in our bedroom right here? We don't need that sink. We never use it. It's just sitting there. So why not just put the laundry right next to the closet? I'm not going to do laundry while I'm sleeping. I don't know. It's an idea. And it's just me and my husband live in the house because my daughter lives in a cottage outside. That sounds so decadent, doesn't it? There's problems with the cottage, though, trust me. All right, let's get on with it. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do is I put my pattern pieces in their smallest mirrored state, you know, like they can do, right? So for this one here, I am going to make it taller and also narrower here. But this is going to change as well. And so maybe I think I would like to deal with this piece first. And I'm not sure, will it fit? It'll fit here. We're probably going to need these pieces completely from scratch, so I might not even be able to use them. It would just be so convenient. And I could put the washer and dryer side by side and put a table on top of it, and I could fold things right there. It sounds pretty ideal. All right, I need to fold it this way, I guess. All right. So what my plan with this is I'm going to make it only a 1/2 inch bigger right here. So on the entire perimeter, I'm going to make it a 1/2 inch. If you don't use see-through rulers for pattern drafting or you're new to it, they're really handy for adding seam allowance because you can see I can just line up this line on the seam or the piece I'm making a parallel line to, just like this. There are other nifty tools that you can do this with now as well, but I've used these for a really long time. So that's my plan. I don't ever usually use my rotary knife, but I'm living on the edge today. All right. So I have 3/8 inch seam allowance on this pattern piece. And so let's just measure the amount it was and then the amount it is now and see how much the difference is. There are 4 sides. I know exactly, Mrs. Necker. It'd be right next to my closet. It'd be so handy. I mean, if you had guests and they needed to do laundry, I think that's really the only other thing. All right, so that is still 11 1/8. I already measured that last time we did this. So now I'm just going to put my ruler about 1/8 of an inch above that line because that would be the 3/8 inch seam line. So that made it 11 7/8. So it got 3/4 of an inch bigger here. So that means I want to make this, let's see, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and this would be one side. So this right here is half that amount. So that's almost 12, so it's just under 6. So right here I need 6 plus my seam allowance here. So let's just trace this off and get rid of this ugly pattern so we have something to kind of fresh to look at. You know, I'm not doing my like fanciest pattern drafting right now, mainly because it's just like a laundry basket for me. I'm just going to put the Sharpie so you can see what I'm doing. It kind of pains me to do this, to be honest. It feels very permanent. You know what, Penny? Ours is the opposite. I keep meaning to ask my husband why it is. Oh, wait. So during the day, our peak hours are 5 to 9 p.m. That's what he said. Our peak hours are 5 to 9. So same for us. But we have solar now. We just got a really big solar system. Solar system. Sounds like we're in orbit or something, but you know what I mean. Do I have a pattern drafting book reference? Well, I do. I feel like anyone who looks at those books now would be put off by the sketches because they're dated, but the information is still valid. You know what I mean? It's still really good. And I feel like these books, I see them pop up all the time. So I have 3 main books that I had in college, and I still have them. I'm looking at the titles from here. One is a draping book, which I never look at, but I have 2 pattern drafting books. One is you've probably seen before, and I feel like it's called Pattern Making for Fashion Design by Connie Almaden Crawford. The other one is Designing Apparel Through the Flat Pattern, and it used to be a pink book. Mine's faded. I don't feel like that one has an author. It might be like a publisher. I can't remember. But those were my 2 books. I still look at them especially when I have people commenting on my posts about they're trying to. I actually don't want this to become a topic right now, but it's all about the sleeves of the grown-on sleeve, the armhole, and people will say, you're wrong, it's this, and I'm not wrong, but I just feel like I don't feel confident enough to be like, do I really know the origins of sleeves to know that that's not a drop shoulder or whatever. Like, where's my basis in facts? But I know it's not. Like, I know the difference. But describing it in an Instagram post, I don't really, it's fine if you think of it as whatever you want. I just don't really like it when people say I'm like, I don't mind being wrong. Everyone here who's been here before knows I do not mind being wrong at all. I don't really care about that. That's not where my ego lies. But I don't like it when there's this kind of certain tone where I, like, as if I don't know what I'm talking about. It's not even that. Like, I don't know everything and things change. I don't know. So I do get my books out sometimes for that, or when someone says, you know, would you do this for this or this for that? And I'm like, well, I would do this, but I'm not sure if that would be the way I would have been taught how to do that. And I'll look to see. Sometimes there's usually not that kind of information. It's just experience that you get. So, oh, cool, Mrs. Necro. You know, and I also like Threads magazine resources. I haven't looked at them in a while, but I always relied on those really heavily when I was a new sewist. Let's face it, there's a billion resources out there. You just got to find things you trust. And Threads magazine is real. They've been around for a long time. And there's been some incredible people that have written for that magazine and written tutorials and things. So, all right, let's see. I said 6- plus my 3/8 inch seam, right? All right. 6-. That's code for 5 7/8 of an inch plus a 1/16 of an inch. Yeah, Mrs. Necro, exactly. Oh, yeah. I like that one, Michelle. I use that one in the Ahmed & Crawford's. Connie Ahmed & Crawford was an instructor at my school. So, 6- plus the 3/8. 1, 2, 3. That's only 1/4 of an inch bigger when we know that this got 3/4 of an inch bigger. So maybe really what it is like my measurement wasn't that great, or I didn't fold that pattern piece that great, because this should have been about 3/8 of an inch bigger, and 1/4, it's kind of close, right? Yeah, so we'll just do about right there. All right, but we know that the top is going to get about 6 inches in total circumference smaller, but this piece is 1/8. So we're going to divide that 6 inches into 8, so 3/4. I knew that. Like that. So we're getting a much straighter up and down thing. And I also want to do this on the seam line, which is about right here. Right? I'm also going to make it 2 inches bigger. And then we're going to true it up. I actually don't know what the I feel like the subscription's pretty cheap. They may have an online version. Yeah, I feel like when I was a subscriber and then I fell off, they would be like, come back for $6. And you're like, how can I pass that up? I still have all my Threads magazines that I've ever had. And when I loaned them out, I was like, please, I really want this back, you know? I feel like that kind of dates me recommending Threads magazine. But at the same time, what I think is funny is I felt that way back then too, but I just really liked it. All right, so I want my right angles right here because we want a nice, smooth top, right? We want the top edge of our basket to be smooth. So we really need right angles here to ensure that we have a nice, smooth transition. $24 a year for 4 issues. Oh, it's only quarterly now. Wow. Do they still do the really cool picture on the back of something? The back is the first thing I always looked at. The very back cover would be like this historical garment. Yeah. Yeah, that's not terrible. You might be able to use your like Joann's 40% off coupon and just buy it in the store. I don't know. We all know about that coupon, right? All right, so let's get my right angle down here a little bit better. I feel like I have a little bit of a peak now that we've changed the angle. All right, so I want to make sure I don't cut on the wrong line, so I'm going to do this just to make sure. I worked with one company I worked with, the head pattern drafter insisted you draw a circle over your final lines like that. So it would look like this. See all that mess? You can see the pencil line's my final, and so I drew a red circle about around so you kind of remember. When I was in design school, I had a bunch of different color pens, and now I would never do this, but when I was learning, I'd get so confused, like which line, because you aren't as decisive and confident when you're doing certain changes, right? And so you're drawing lines, and you're like, maybe here, maybe, oh no, that's right, I needed to do that. It's, oh, okay, yeah, and you're constantly, and then you lose where you're actually at. So I used ballpoint pens in a bunch of different colors, and I would tell myself, you're on the pink line now. Now you're on the blue line, you know, and I would know that that was the current color. Yeah, right, Mrs. Necro, exactly. All right, so that was pretty simple. Let's kind of check it out and see if what I did actually is the changes that I planned on having. Should just use my ruler here. Normally I would like staple this together and make sure that the bottom layer is going to be the same as the top layer. But I'm really excited about sewing this, and that's what I'm trying to get to. So now my basket, yeah, that is a better height. And yeah, I'm getting excited about this. All right, so this is scrap paper. We'll put under here. This is still only 2 pattern pieces. Let's do some notches. And this is my new bottom. Like, I would like it bigger, but let's be honest. Like, when I'm carrying it up, I don't really want it to be, like, winging out. Because, you know, like, when you're holding a bag and then you turn and then the bag, like, knocks everything off the counter. So, I don't really want to. And like I said, I have all this stuff hanging on the wall as I go up. And some of it sticks out really far because it's all handmade stuff. And so some of it's kind of bulky, you know. One of them is like a handmade broom that someone made locally, and of course those little like the little broom pieces of straw I like to grab sometimes. So I don't really want, now that I have a fabric basket. All right. If you are new to pattern drafting and you're just starting to use a notcher, one thing that I figured out is if you use it upside down, you can see. So like say you are drawing, there's your notch, right? And you want to notch that. And you're kind of like this. You can't really see. You can see this little tip here, but you can see so much better if you do this. You turn it upside down. And you can see your line through this hole. That's my tip. I figured that out by accident one day when I picked them up upside down. I was like, oh my gosh, why haven't I been doing that? And then when I went to work somewhere, there was a pattern drafter there that was probably, I want to say she was like maybe 25 years older than me, and it had been there for a really long time. And when she saw me doing that, she was just like, why did I think of that? I'm like, I know, right? Why did they teach us this? It was so funny. Okay. We don't want this pattern piece. I am just going to toss my old one, but I do want this information here. So, because I think I wrote my handle. All right, so I want 16-inch handles, 1 loop, which I'll just use a little piece of bias or something, 1 hook. We're going to talk about that in just a second. The strap for hook, a ribbon, usually I do blue always for lining fabric, black for self, and then green for contrast. So, do you, Nancy? That's so funny. Yeah, I mean, it's so funny. Like, why didn't that come? You know, why didn't I think of that sooner? I don't think I'd ever looked under there. You know, I'm glad I figured it out early on. But I think I was like, shoot. Well, I was in my early 20s, so I just was lucky enough to figure it out. All right, so I want this here, I guess. But we only want these on 2. I'm looking for my awl, but I don't have an awl, so I'm just going to use my screw punch, which is what I would normally do here. This is my handle. This is a screw punch. It's totally a decadent pattern drafting tool. You can use an awl. I used an awl for years. It does get dull. You do have to replace the tips. They do come in a bunch of different sizes. But like I said, it's kind of an expensive tool just for doing this. It just was a much classier way to do it when I'm doing it for clients, and cleaner. I really want a black skinny pin, but I don't have one there. All right. I'm just doing my cross hatch here for the center of my marking. Normally you would do that before you do the drill, the drill hole. And this way, like say that hole rips, or maybe you use Sharpie on it a lot and it gets kind of soggy and starts falling apart. You can see your cross hatch, you know where it was. So if you want to repair it, it helps you in the future. And trust me, this does come in handy. All right, so that's my handle placement, but only on 2. All right, our handle goes below the case, the facing. I knew it rhymed with that. And then this can go any grain line I want. And when I do that, you mark both, indicating it doesn't matter. Grain lines are an interesting discussion, you know. Cut one, lining. Again, usually I do blue for that, but it's fine. It's just me. All right. I did this, and this. I wrote down the loop, and I think I want that loop to be about probably 5 to 6 inches long. And then these will be cut 4 inches by 16. I'm going to make fabric handles. So, and I'm going to, instead of using webbing, I really love the way they look. Okay, so let's talk my hook. And then we're going to do a pocket. So I just need the pocket and the hook. So, I went to my like Notions thing and started like, maybe there's something in my weird drawer. I have a weird drawer. And then I have this drawer with swivels and hooks, and there's this weird thing that I don't know. I don't know. I kind of know what these are for. Like, I've seen these on things, but I never used it. I have two. So when I worked in the outdoor industry, the vendors who had this kind of stuff, it was like an all-you-can-eat buffet of sample bins. You couldn't just do all-you-can-eat, but there was these little cups of you can't believe the stuff they have, right? And most of these things, that's why I only have like one each. You know? That's why I have one each, because like I said, it's not an all-you-can-eat. These were taken off a bag I used to have. Look at this thing. See? It's pretty stiff. See that? It opens and closes very stiffly. Ugh. You wouldn't really want to use that. These are probably from the vendor, but so I still have some things left from that, and I thought maybe there'd be something in there, but this is the handle from a bag of bird seed. And I thought, oh, this will be really great, but then I don't know. These handles are so uncomfortable, so I'll just save it. Maybe it'll be handily somewhere else. This was this project I did with my friend Maria, where I designed this enamel pin holder to hang in your closet. So, you know, like when you're getting dressed, you can kind of pick out your enamel pin or shawl pin if you're a knitter. I have one left, so I think I'm going to use this. But this was my original plan. I was just going to use a pattern hook. I don't know why, but this is what you hang patterns up on a closet dowel, and they're pretty cheap. I could only ever buy them by the gross, but I know Wax sells them, and they're really handy because then you can, cut a hole in your pattern, and then you can hang it on a dowel as big as a closet, right? So you don't have to have like a specific hook for it, and then you just loop it through like this, and it's just nice because everybody has a closet dowel pretty much, right? And that's what's behind me. That's how I hang my patterns up. But I don't know why it's always been like this. This stuff is rubbish. The white cord, it falls apart all the time. And all of a sudden, like, my patterns will be like, crash. And admittedly, it's probably a hook I've had for 20 years. But you would think that this would be stronger. So what I do is I even use these to hang my rulers up. So I'll unloop it right here and take it off of this. And then I will slip knot this on my ruler. So they're pretty handy for all kinds of things. So I hang my rulers up on the wall with these. And I have a bunch of these hooks because they've broken apart and I just save them. And I have a pattern that's going to come out in the near future that's going to use something like this. It's really handy. But I was thinking you could use this if you had some cord, and this is like draw cord or zipper pull cord, then you could attach it to the basket with something like this. But there's probably something like this in the hardware store. So what would you recommend finding the grain line? Yeah, exactly, Nancy. I think you could do that, but most likely you're going to be able to see the grain line. And the length grain is going to be the one running from the top of the bed to the end of the bed, because the fabric width, even though they can come 108 inches, like that sheeting can come like really wide. I don't think any of it's wide enough to cut crossways, because then the prints would be different in all their packages. Like, say they're like, we offer this in a twin, a full, a queen, and a king, and the dogs aren't sideways on the twin, right? Or the full. In fact, beds are always the same length. So anyway, most likely the length grain is the head of the bed to the foot of the bed. And yeah, you could just rip off the sides. The only drawback with ripping, purists will say it stretches out the edge of the fabric. I don't think it's a big deal, personally. So yeah, I would just cut all those elastics off and let it relax, or hems, So anyway, so this is my plan. I think I'm going to use this thing, but you could use maybe a pattern hook. So, and then use some like zipper pull cord or draw cord, maybe a cord from a hoodie that you donated, or maybe the drawstring doesn't stay in your hoodie. Yeah, I think you're safe with that. All right, let me put this stuff away for here. Yeah, I think that this is going to be, just because I have one and I haven't known what to use this for, and my friend Maria laser cut these, which is kind of cool. And it was her birthday the other day, so I've been thinking about her. All right, got my hook. So, I'm going to work on the positioning of this and my handles towards the end. But we're going to put this in a bin so we don't lose it. Now we just need a pocket, and maybe, yeah, just like a little pocket. Strap a pocket. I think this will be big enough. You know, I just did that with the all those napkins I bought, Mrs. Necro. I've been unpicking the hems because I want them to be the biggest piece possible. I just want a right angle, and then I'm going to decide how big I want my pocket. But in general, pockets are about 5.5 inches wide finished, because that's big enough to get your hand in. This is 5 inches right here. This is the 5-inch mark. 5.5 gives you a little room, you know, because you're not like doing this all the time, or maybe you're reaching in to grab, you know. So this right here to here would be 5.5. And then you need your seam allowance, right? So I'm just going to give myself 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. I know my whole bag is 3/8, but I know that's what I'll sew it at, so I might as well just do it. I'm very accustomed to the 1/4 inch thing. So let's make a parallel line. Sheets are a great way to do trials and prototypes too. And as far as the depth, I think that's personal. There is such a thing though as too deep of a pocket, you know? And in general, I think most pockets are about 5.5 to 6.5 inches deep for just like a straight up patch pocket. I'm gonna make mine 6 inches. A little deeper might be helpful so that nothing pops out and falls into the basket. I'm gonna put 1.25 inch hem. All right, we got our pocket. Let's cut. Oh, I need my facing pattern pieces. Not so fast, Duffy. All right. Let's put our grain line here. I always do grain lines that go off the edges. That's just an industry thing, and it's because if you're matching stripes or something, it helps. That's all. That's the only reason. There's no reason you don't have to do it. That looks like more than 1.25 inches, doesn't it? It's not. All right. Another way to denote your seam allowances is to do this. So this is 1/4 inch. This is 1.25, like that. At this corner, I would go like this. Not with a Sharpie. It's not very accurate. This is how I always did it. Especially with people that were using the pattern other than me. Not in if I worked in a factory, I did what they said to do. I didn't redesign stuff. They have their methods that speak to their floor, and that's the most important thing to stick with. And in my experience, the gnarliest person to deal with in any factory, and the person you want to keep happy, is the sewing room floor supervisor. That person's usually a force. So I always said yes ma'am or yes sir and did whatever they said. Being in the design room does not mean you are at all in charge. Like, at all. Alright. So what did I make my old one? Didn't I just throw that away? Oh, it's right here. I think I made it 2 and 3 quarters. Sloper. No, that's a basic block. What was that? And it wasn't like Sobai. Sobai keeps popping into my head, but that's not what that's for. What was that? Gosh. This looks funny. This doesn't look very nicely sloped, is it though? I try and look at the back. Maybe that's too high of a peak right there, you know? That might be too high of a peak. Sometimes what I find is that I have my right angle here, and then sometimes what I do is about in the middle. This doesn't always work. I make my right angle go to that, like that, and then I round it out. I'm gonna raise that a little bit. I need scissors for this. That's too subtle. I think that looks way better. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. All right. Testers, yeah. I think she had a British accent. I can't remember who that was. I don't want this, right? Yeah, that's what it is. Oh, yeah, that looks way better. See how that looked like a, you probably can't even see it, but it just looked like a, sorry, it's so light. This looked like a straight angled line. It wasn't very organic, which means it would have made like weird points around the side. You know, even if I did the right angles, it doesn't always work. For this narrow of a piece, it's really hard to keep your paper from shifting, and it can still shift in your staples. So if you're going for precision, 2 staples is better. Then we'll make the interfacing pattern piece, and then we're ready to cut. Not interfacing, but stiffener. Yeah, I do. I feel bad about all the Muslims who've been called a toile in the world, you know? Oh, nice. Cool, Michelle. Did you see the fabric they sent for it? They sent the Brussels washer linen. Can you see that dark purple though? And the face cam looks, I think, looks better. But I think this will be a good, it's kind of, you know, still has some drape, but it's not super lightweight. The cover picture looks like a martial arts, you know. But I like that texture. That fabric is so cool. Like, I would like that fabric for something. All right. Oakley dokley. Here's my new, what's it called? Facing. Oh my gosh. I'm not sure what fabric I'm going to do it in yet. It'll depend on what fabric I have available, to be honest. Because I may be running low. Did I have a big enough piece to do another? Here's a piece. The recycling bin is the best source of paper, you know? I should have just cut 2 of these out and then trimmed off my extra for the interfacing. So my idea is, I think I'm going to sew the interfacing in there, or the stiffener, I'm sorry, to where it's not caught. Oh, maybe I do want to catch it in the top edge. It's easy enough to fold it back. You know, like this right here, this is folded back on itself, and it would give some, you know, totally doable. This is a pretty lightweight fabric. Yeah, I think I will. But I think what I'll do is I'll make it a little shy of the turned under spot. So I'll just trim off a 1/2 inch off the bottom of the, and then I think I'll keep it in the seam allowance too. We might decide that doesn't work, you know. Sometimes stiffeners are just too stiff to include in your seams, you know. So, but I'm kind of gonna try and use it to my advantage since we're not using the wire that I thought would be pretty nifty, you know. That's a pretty inaccurate piece I just cut there. I'm glad my teacher's not here. Okay. Oh, Evelyn Woods. I've heard her name before. What's her channel called? Hey, Terry. Oh, you know, I use Microtex for top stitching, but I don't think that option is available in the industrial world. But Terry, I will tell you, when you're sewing with silk, use a small needle. And remember, silk is so strong that even if it's extremely lightweight and feels, you know, really delicate, I'm going to hazard a guess that you might break a needle pretty easily because, first of all, you need a really small needle to sew it, because a bigger needle, it's like trying to, you know, punch a big thing into, you know, a small hole, right? So the smaller needle will pierce the fibers easier, and then you might need a smaller thread. So when I've used silk needles, I used a lighter weight thread, and I always used size 8 when I did, like, when's the last time you sewed on an 8, you know? And then you might break them because they're lighter weight needles, and the silk is so strong. So that's my, it's been a while. I think that you're going to be fine not having Microtex. It's really just the weight of the needle that might help you out the most, depending on what you're sewing. Because the thing I did was French seams, and those junctures at the shoulders, I almost broke a needle every time I hit it. Oh, okay, cool. I think I've seen her. I'm going to check her out. All right, let's start cutting. Where do I want my pocket? Maybe I'll mark it on one. Yeah, sorry, Terry. I'm not sure I have the best answer for you. you're using your industrial though, right? So we don't get those cool options. All right, let's see if I worked to see like how much yardage would I need for this, and that's when I was like, you know what, I think I have it. So this is 1 yard of fabric, and it's really wide. This is the selvage right here, and it is printed. It is 56 inches wide, usable. That's pretty good. I mean, finding 56-inch wide fabric in general is pretty good. And this is easily 59 inches wide, but the usable is 56. Ooh, and it's an all-over print. Oh, so I can actually turn my piece upside down. I wonder if I can do 2 side by side. No, I absolutely cannot. But what I can do is I can do 3, and then 1, and then the bottom, and then the facings, and hopefully the pocket. Oh yeah, you could totally do that. Depending on your project, that's a good idea. You don't want to use, I mean, the Microtex, in my experience with them, I feel like the point is it sharper, or is it just like there's something about it that makes the top stitching nicer? I'm sorry, it's been a while since I've used it because it's a home machine thing, and I did use them for like top stitching on a home machine. I felt there was a difference. Holy cow. Let me really badly fail at folding here in front of you. Alright. So I'm lining up my print except for right here. So maybe what I should do is cut off this one edge. I'm not going to need this. What are you making, Terry? What are any of you making today? I know for some of you, you're just hanging out. I'm your company while you sew. Anyone doing anything fun? Hey, Sydney, how's it going? Are you on your lunch break? Yep, you read my mind, Michelle. You probably typed that before I did it, huh? Gotta love that YouTube delay, right? Alright, so we can get 3 here. And, you know, I might even have room right here for 1 facing, since I need 4. How's it going? Hey, Barbara, how's it going? Oh, I need handles, too. Maybe I do a different fabric for the facings. You know? Okay. I found the notches in between the sections on the bottom to be a little overkill, so I'm not going to do... Oh, shoot, look at that. Didn't really get that on there very straight, did I? It's within the seam allowance. Everything will be fine. That in my bin. Oh, you are, Malin. Cool. Barely. You know, I thought about cutting the selvage off originally, and I was like, oh, I won't have to the way I'm going to fold this. And then, of course, I folded it where I needed to do it, so... So because I'm going to line this, I'm just going to drill. When I say punch a hole in something, it means drill. It's just Sorry. I'm only going to do it on 2. You know what? I'm not going to do that because what if I decide to change? Maybe if I had already made this a couple times. But I haven't even added one with handles. This is my like final. And man, did I do a lot of changes from that one, didn't I? Oh, you're knitting a hat. Nice. Working, working. Yeah, your flamingo's turning out pretty cute, Barbara. Did it all work out okay, Michelle, or did it not work out? We've all seen me do things and then go, oh shoot, I didn't mean to do that. I haven't made the Dawn jeans quite yet, but we're going to this month. Yesterday I taped my Annie cardigan pattern together. And you know, I was like, you know, I'm definitely going to make a shorter version. And then this morning I was like, God, maybe I want to do the longer, like branch out a little bit in my style. But then, I don't know. Would I wear it? Oh shoot, I just pulled that right out. Well, I'm over marking these pockets anyway, so we're going to be okay. You're also working. Yep, I know that one. It's always funny when someone comes in my office, like my husband or daughter, and I'll have a stream on in the background, but you can't see it because it's like under some of the windows, like I'm editing a video or whatever. And they'll all of a sudden, like, they'll be there for like 10 minutes and all of a sudden be like, someone's talking. And I'm like, oh, it's just the stream. I just didn't mute it when they walked in or something, you know? All right, so we have 3 of those. We just need 1 more. And then we need the bottom. Oh, the ginger, yeah. No, if it was that front, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I'm such a doofus. Every time I make those jeans, I cut off the belly panel. I do it weirdly. Every time I'm always like, oh, this is the time I'm going to do it correctly. And then I do it and I'm like, no, this is not the time you're doing it correctly. You're doing it wrong yet again because you're forgetting you have to attach this to the fly. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Oh, I don't know. Have we talked about that? I know that there is a curvy version called the Curve. Yeah, right, Allison? That's a tough one. I like the idea of stuffing things like bedding you don't have room for in the linen closet. But then I was like, you know, if I pulled that out, because I'd have guessed, I'd probably have to wash it all. You know? Because I did that and someone was like, oh my God. Everyone was like, that's such a great idea. I'm going to do that. And then later on I was like, no, that was not a good idea, you guys. I did not think that through. All right, so now we have 4. We need lining. Oops, I'm sorry. We need lining, and we need our handles, and we need our facings. So I think we're going to be okay. Yeah, you knew that piece exactly. Yeah, I was wearing a pair of those yesterday, and they're the very first pair I ever made. And so the fit is pretty good, but I got it better over time. And they're kind of my favorite pair to wear right now, but I feel like my belly pokes out under the waistband, you know? And it's really visible. And I think that's because some denims are lighter weight and it's stretchy. And I was like, boy, that belly panel would just be so handy right now. Too bad I lopped it off, you know? Yeah. All right. Hi, Adina. How's it going? So maybe I want to do it this way. I don't need the pocket to be in this fabric. All right. So let's put those there. And then we need, I can do this here. 1, 2, 3. Or I do a handle there. And I have room for 2 handles. Okay, we're good. Or do I do this? This takes up more. Oh, I like that better. That takes up more, maybe. 1. Let's have this room right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I could probably get 1 handle there, 1 handle there. 1, 2, 3, 1, and then 2 handles. 16 inches. Okay, so I think that's what I'll do. Oh, you are, Adina. Ooh, you are on it. Which jacket? Really, Mrs. Necker? That's funny. Spring is in the air. Can I get your parrot to talk? Can I like say something really loudly and get your parrot to talk? You know, my mom made it to my sister's. And, you know, like she let me know really late. She's like, oh my gosh, we made it. I was like, okay, great. And and then Cricket got a photo from my sister of a little video because my Cricket gave them this bag of candy that would make every mom write her off of Christmas lists for the rest of her life. Like Cricket gave them huge bags of candy. She works at a candy store. And I haven't gotten a thing, so I'm thinking that the jammy bottoms don't fit and the slippers don't fit now. I'm like, oh man, what's going on? Like, have they forgotten? Did they not, like, are they waiting till my nephew's birthday? Like it's a birthday gift? Because it's not. Now I'm worried. Okay, so we have our bottom. You know, maybe I want to put stiffener in the bottom. Could I do that? And if I stitch down the center, that would help it fold. Oh, really? Oh, that's so funny. You're like, what is that? What were they saying? Like, kind of like babies when they just start going, you know, they just kind of make that sound. I know, Mrs. Necker, it would. But Cricket made me feel a lot better. Like, when I got home with them, she was like, oh, these are so cute. And I was like, yeah, I don't think they're going to fit again. They just don't feel very stretchy. And then she popped one on. And she's, you know, 18 and my nephew's 12. So they're going to be fine. Then I ended up making Cricket a pair for Easter. You know? So, okay, let's see if I can cut all 4 of these. Uses a little more fabric by doing this, but we'll save a little time, right? This crack, you probably can't see it, but I have a crack on my table. It's not in the table. Well, it's 2 tables put together right here. We've all gone over a crack with our rotary knife, and it doesn't end well. Every time I see that, I'm like, shoot. And then I realize, no, the mat's on top. It's okay. I don't really care about the grain line for something like this because the print is not a problem. Oh, that's funny. It could have been worse. He could have actually ended up getting that sound down, you know? You'd sound like you had yippy dogs if you didn't have yippy dogs. All right. This is cutting it kind of close for the, like getting them all lined up. Do you ever do this where you cut out each one just to save time and then you end up spending so much time getting the stack of fabrics to be right on top and nothing is short that you're just like, I just should have just cut each one? Or you end up having to recut some because you don't get it right. Gosh, I've done that plenty of times. All right. Nice new blade. 4 layers of cypress canvas. Not bad. Isn't it nice that my camera's not mounted to the table anymore? That's cute, Michelle. Oh my gosh, right? Oh yeah, they would love that. Wait, this is the side I cut? Stop moving around on me. There we go. Yeah, my problem is that like a doorbell or other dogs or other animal sounds will make my dogs go nuts. And so I was like watching certain shows. I just can't even watch it with them, you know? It's really annoying. Like Michael will be like, what's going on up there? And I'm like, nothing is going on. Absolutely nothing is going on. But the dogs think there's something going on. It's all right, 2 handles. So I'm going to make my handle. You could use a webbing strap if you need a handle, but I have really been loving making my handles lately when they're not too big. So if I want a 1-inch handle, I'm going to cut this 4 inches wide. So it takes a fair bit of fabric. That's my only thing. Sometimes I don't have the fabric, you know? So I'm just going to cut this off. I'm actually going to cut this whole piece off so that I don't accidentally cut into this, and I can probably get my pocket then. All right. It would be better if I didn't have a fold there. We'll make it work. It's just a handle, right? I'm not very good at using these rulers. It's kind of a crack up. I'm just getting a nice straight edge on one side right now. That's all. All right, so now I have 2 straight edges, which is great. And I'm going to make it 4 inches wide by 16 inches long. That's 3. Like, that doesn't look like 4 inches. Even though I want a 1-inch handle, I'm going to cut this 4 inches wide because we're going to fold it. And we don't have to turn it right side out or anything. I really love the kind of strap that this makes as well. You're going to start a howl. Oh yeah, Dina, I haven't even brought it up. So thank you for reminding me. So yesterday, maybe I'll just cut this 8 inches since I have the fabric here, and then that way we can cut it down. Yesterday, Cashmerette came out with their new blazer pattern. I don't wear a blazer. This is where I work. This is it, right? But I don't know. I kind of want one for my wardrobe for wearing over maybe a nice t-shirt or blouse with jeans. I think it would be kind of a fun thing to have, you know? And I wouldn't mind making one. I don't have hardly any experience sewing from scratch a blazer the proper way. I've altered a bunch working in a shop, and I've sewn a few, but probably not the way, you know, you're supposed to sew them. And me and Terry have been talking about doing it. And so yesterday when I saw that Cashmerette launched their Auburn blazer, I was like, you know what? This is it. This is a nice, simple, basic blazer. I'm going to do it. And I put it out there to the group in the Facebook page. There's a group on the Facebook page if you guys want to join. It's very casual. Very, very casual. I am not like 100% like constantly on there or anything, but it's like if you're having a problem and someone else might see it, you could say, hey, you guys, does this look funny to you? You know, they could help you. So I posted yesterday in there, which I rarely do, huh, guys? And I said, hey, you guys, this is it. I'm going to do the Auburn blazer. If anyone wants to join me, Terry's been interested in doing a blazer. And I feel like you could get like the Jessica or what's the other one you guys were talking about? Nancy has one already. Oh, I just blanked on the name of it. It does kind of Mrs. Necro. So, oh, Dina, I feel like I could totally see you in a blazer. It would look so sharp, you know. I feel like you must have a picture of yourself wearing one because I can totally picture it on you. So, me too, Dina. I know, I love those, the handles. So anyway, the issue with the Cashmere Auburn blazer is it starts at size 12 and goes up. It's not in the lower size ranges yet. So that includes me, though. I think I am a 12 or a 14 on their size chart. I can't quite remember. So if you want to join in, this is not happening anytime soon. So the printed pattern, I ordered the printed pattern mainly because I ordered one of her Notions kits. So she has a kit with all the like shoulder pads, all that hoo-ha in there, right? So I bought the Notions kit and I just figured, well, it's printed pattern, that way they come at the same time because they're not coming till June. And we'll probably do this like late summer, early fall. So everyone has plenty of time to get a pattern and their instructions. And this is totally something like, if you're doing a pattern that's still really similar, but maybe there's a different step, we'll try and help everyone get through it together. So if you want to pick the one you want to do, like if you've already bought a pattern, you want to buy another one. Yeah, that's it, Nancy. I knew it was Grain Line, but I could not think of the Morris blazer. Okay, there you go. Adina's going to do something from Berta because Berta fits her really well. I think Terry's on board with doing the, what's it called? Auburn blazer by Cashmerette. And then Shanika is, what did Shanika have? She has one too. So, yeah. I don't have my fabric yet. But you can get, I didn't even see that there's a discount code. I totally missed it. But there is a discount code. There's Wool Melton on the Cashmerette site. So I need to find my fabric still. I don't know why I didn't just get the fabric, but I just kind of wanted to think about that. So anyway. Yeah, I think it'll be fun. We did a sew along with the mountain views a while ago. Last year we did, I think, dresses. No one really, there's like a few of you that did it with me. Was that last year? That wasn't last year. Oh, yeah, Malin. Not the Ilford, right? I like the look of that one, but it's not, I don't like the fit of it. I want something a little bit more tailored, I think. Oh, my little fabric piles are going a little nuts over here. My biggest offender for damaging my blades is my weights. I always touch the blade with the weight, so. All right, so I just need to cut my lining. What time is it? Did I just do like way longer of a stream than I planned? Maybe. I use one of those pattern hooks I was telling you about. I hang it upside down on the hook. There's hooks on the wall over here. And then all the rulers that have a hole in them, I hang on this one doesn't have it, but I hang my rulers on the hook. I love these things. They're so handy. I use them for everything. Nothing like Essex yarn dyed linen for a laundry basket liner, eh? Decadence. So this is the selvage. All right, this is a lot less wide, so, but I don't need the handles or the facings. But we might be a little bit, so I can do 2 there. Can I do a 3rd one here? Oof. Oh no. Kinda, maybe. Will I be adding buttons to the sleeves of my blazer? I don't know, Adina. Oh, Pona jacket. Heather. It's called Heather? The Heather jacket? By Friday Pattern Company? All right, so I can get 3 there maybe. If anything, I can get 2 and 2. But can I get a bottom right here? Maybe if I go like this. Wait, if I do this one here, right? Okay, look at this. Wait, let's get this on the grain. Yet another fabric store that doesn't cut on the grain. We won't talk about that, but that's Saramy's pet peeve. Them's fighting words for me. All right, so I have 4 layers there. What if I do this? I do this here, and then can I get, look at that, and I can get this right here. Love it when I outsmart the fabric. It thought it was gonna give me a hard time. Nope. I also want it noted that there's not a scrap of binding on this project. So just remember when you guys give me a hard time for putting binding on everything. Oh, you just had to say that, huh, Nancy? What is this pin doing here? Yeah, the Essex linen laundry basket. I wanted something with weight, but I didn't want to do something as heavy as the canvas again, you know? Because I have some denims and some twills. They might not have matched that cypress cotton, but I have other fabrics. I mean, I could have like reconfigured the whole thing. This is all pre-washed too. This isn't. The flower is not, but this is. I'm living right. Right? I didn't really know what I was going to do with 1 yard, like these 1 yard pieces of the Essex, but I do like the idea of doing a pattern with some pattern mixing in it, you know? And the Essex is always so handy to have for stuff like that. I don't know why I just cut that off. Probably shouldn't have. Oh, I think my neighbors are here. They like to walk in my office. How does Saramy feel about that? She has a lot of feelings about that. Okay, where's my scissors here? We're ready to sew, right? I think the only thing I haven't cut are a few pieces to attach the hook, because I need some strapping for that, and the loop. So the loop is technically kind of binding, right? Stiffener. Dang, maybe I should do a part 3 for sewing. You do, yeah, Mrs. Necro. Are you going to do the Annie card again tomorrow? You're busy, though. You're like the one doing school and working, right? Heather Blazer. You're right. It is called that. Malin knows everything. Sheesh. Malin, I should have never doubted you. Okay. Let's see what we have in this. Do I have any stiffener? This is Swedish tracing paper. I don't think I have any that will fit the facings. Our factory cut, I don't know why, but they cut 50 bazillion of this end piece. Like this is what you get back when they cut it. Of this piece. So I have this stack of these and I'll have them forever. Not sure why they did that. Okay. I have a lot of stiffener still trying to use up from my old business, but it's so handy. Wait, you haven't seen Ray today. She must be watching on her TV. Hi, Ray. Hope you're doing good. I got my vaccine yesterday. Don't you wish the DMV and heck, don't you wish grocery shopping was as efficient as getting a vaccine? Holy cow. It's like the fastest thing I've ever done in my life. All right, I don't need notches for this. And now we need our stiffener piece. Have you gotten yours too, Michelle? It's like, it's crazy fast. And I didn't feel it. Like, I didn't feel it, like, at all. And so when she said she was done, I was like, I actually doubted she did it. I even had my husband look. I'm like, will you see? Is there a hole? 'Cause I can't. And I didn't bleed, so I didn't even get a Band-Aid or anything. Like, and when I was leaving, they were like, okay, you're going to repair. I was like, I didn't even feel it. They're like, yeah, it's a really small needle. You don't really feel it. And I was like, I don't believe you guys. Because Michael and Cricket made it sound like they felt it, you know? Yeah. Yeah, I'll be vaccinated before my birthday, like fully. My next one's May 5th, I think. Oh, this is a little too much weight for my arm. A little thick too. See that? 3 slight. It likes 3. Oh, who was talking about, oh, you're agreeing with missing Ray, yeah. No, oh, okay, yeah. I know, where is that, Ray? That's true, Mrs. Necro. You didn't feel it? Hi, Derek. What's the weather? What? I got the Moderna. It seems like in our area, it's mostly Moderna and Pfizer. You get the Pfizer. So it's just one shot. That's nice. Okay. I just need a few little pieces, like one to hold my hook on. And then I'm also going to, like, when the hook is dangling off the edge of the basket, I'll put a little, like, strap there, right, to hold it on there. But when it's not in use, I'm going to put a little, like, sleeve, I think. Maybe right here. That may take some fiddling. Those are the kinds of things that get fiddly. Yeah, my arm's a little sore. Ray, hello. Just being you, yeah. Lurkers are welcome. Especially the Ray kinds. Okay. So this is a 1 inch as well. So I'm just going to do same thing. I'm going to do that 4-inch wide thing. I could just use webbing. But I don't know. I like that it's like fabric. It matches. It doesn't have like that black techie look. It's been snowing. Holy moly. When I put this on today, I was like, oh yeah, it's definitely getting warmer if I'm wearing this. Because this is a pretty lightweight dress. It's the uniform tunic as a dress. And yeah, it must be pretty cool here if I can do that. Does this really? Yeah, it is. Okay. So if I put this, I just kind of guessed at the length, right? I can hook it onto my dryer. It's long enough that where it can hang, it can swivel like this a little bit, right? You wouldn't want it to be right up against your basket, your bag, and then have to turn the whole edge of the bag, right? These are the things I think about, logistics. So then it can do that. And then when not in use, we need some sort of little like hook or something. Maybe a piece of elastic. Pfizer. All right, so this is our hook here thingy. And then I just need my loop. We'll tie that on there so we don't throw it away, because I do that all the time. I'm a messy person, but I'm a really efficient too, and I will just like throw stuff away because I'm like, that's trash, you know? So I'm just gonna make a little bias strip. I'm not binding, I'm just sewing a bias strip for a loop. There's a difference. And we'll just square it off. And then this will just be the loops for it to hang on the wall. I could just use I think I need 2 of these. I could just use that hook, I know, but then it would be hanging from the top of the basket and then it'll fall open, you know, so it'd be this bag sitting on the wall, like hanging out. And I don't want that. I want to hang it upside down so it doesn't do that. Am I a nerd about this kind of stuff? Maybe a little bit, I know. But if you can over-engineer a laundry basket, who would say no to that? I ask you. All right. So what time is it? It's already almost 1. Ooh, you guys. Probably should wrap it up. But tomorrow I'm doing, I'm cutting the Annie cardigan tomorrow by So Def magazine. I'm looking for my pattern. And I think what I could do is I'll probably do another stream in the afternoon of sewing my basket. Hey, Katie, how's it going? Katie. I was reading the Fechner and Katie at the same time. So I said, Katie. You got snow 8 inches? Oh my gosh. Wow, Mullen. What? It's almost, April weather is a Swedish expression for weird weather. Oh, interesting. Wait, where's the shingles bag? Misha Pfizer, both had the shingles in summer, and that one was ouchy. Ooh. Ooh. Nello. Oh, man. I'll never forget that typo, Nancy. I liked that one. I thought that was pretty good. Yeah, so right after I got my vaccine, I did this a lot. I moved my arm around. And so my arm feels fine. It's sore right there, but I can move. Like my husband and daughter were like, could barely lift their arm. So I just sat there doing that, driving down the road every so often. But yeah, other than that, no Band-Aid. It didn't even look like it was like it never happened. I was kind of like, well, that was so anticlimactic. I didn't feel it and I didn't get a Band-Aid, you know? All right. Okay. So I want to really enjoy the sewing and I don't want to be like trying to speed up so that this isn't like a 3 or 4 hour long stream. So I'll sew this tomorrow, maybe even Friday. We'll see how tomorrow's cutting goes. The cutting of this is going to be really fast though. So what I'll probably do is cut this out and then eat some lunch and then go back and we'll sew that. It means I can't record a video, but maybe I could do that on Friday. So does that sound good? So tomorrow I am doing the Annie cardigan. It's knit. I'm doing it in this really cozy wool fleece combo that I got from Needle Sharp. By the way, Needle Sharp, which is a subscription box, I'm not affiliated with them at all. But she has extra fabric and she's having a sale right now. She buys really good garment fabrics and she gets extra for all her spring box subscription boxes. So she's having a sale right now. I really like it because you find some really unique stuff. So bye, Sharon. Thanks for coming. So I'm going to be doing that and I'm going to be shortening this. I don't know about the pockets yet, but I'm going to do this. Mine's going to look more like a varsity sweater. Varsity Letterman sweater. Bye, Adina. You like your typo. Hello. That's what I'll be doing. Oh. Still breaking his feathers. Oh. Loki has this weird lump on him, and then last night, something happened with the lump. I won't go into detail, but least I know it's probably not something really, really serious now, that it was something inside, didn't it? Yeah. So, I don't like mystery pet things, you know? I worry about them. Oh, that's what I wanted to say is, okay, who was asking about, where are those? Someone was asking about, for the overalls, another way to do the clasp for someone who has trouble with the hooks or buttons and buttonholes and hooks. I was thinking, what about a buckle? Is a buckle too hard? You know, like the kind that you squeeze? So like, there's one, this is a big one. This is like a 1-inch buckle, but you can get 1/2-inch buckles. I have two. I found them and I'll show you them, but you know, so then all you're doing is this, and then you squeeze the sides. But on the smaller ones, they're a little easier. So I'm not sure who was having some sort of, like they were looking for an alternative for dexterity. And I don't know if this helps or hurts, but this is an option. So. All right. Oh, Ray, they have their own timeline. But you know, the way I think of some of those things is the longer something takes, the more permanent it is. You know, it's just like if you're building a business or online community or a relationship, right? Smaller, chipping away at it and kind of building on it, kind of finding, you know, this like gentle path, and then it's just more permanent and long lasting and stronger when it's takes a while. That's the way I try and look at those things positively, you know, even though I'm a very impatient person and I want everything done right now. All right, so I will see you tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific. We'll be cutting the cardigan out. It'll be great. And then I'm sewing that on Saturday. But probably between now and Saturday, I will be sewing this basket. It's so tempting to go and sew it right now. I have to say. I haven't done any like relaxed sewing in a bit, though. I did those slippers last week and not my favorite kind of sewing. That little fuzz is still everywhere, so. All right, well, happy sewing, you guys. Oh, Ray! Oh, my gosh. I almost made it. I almost made it out of here. Thank you, Ray. I appreciate it. Definitely not necessary. You're already a Patreon patron. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Hit the like. The like helps. Oh, Mrs. Necro, keeping an eye on it. Oh, poor little bugger. I mean, when you don't have a whole lot to fuss around with, you're going to fuss with your feathers, right? Maybe it's a growing pains thing, or they're itchy. I don't know anything about birds, though. I know a lot about chickens. Different, so. I won't sew it. It'll be fun. It's going to be fun to sew it. I think it'll be good because we can troubleshoot a few things on it, which I'm kind of interested in. And you get to see it. So, it made sound. Yeah, I fixed it. Cost me $80, but I fixed it. I had to hire someone, and even he was perplexed. And we spent hours on it 2 days in a row. I was here till 8 p.m. I finally told him, I was like, I got to go home. He was like, well, what time works for you? I'm like, I'm usually gone by 6, and it was 8, and he was like, oh, okay. I was like, yeah, I gotta go home, I'm hungry. So, but I'm so excited. I learned a lot from him too, so it was great. All right, you guys, I'll see you guys mañana, iguanas. All right, I'll see you soon. Wait, where's my thingy? Okay, bye.